hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday evening stream of the pre-Monday show. I hope that everyone's well. Hello, Kim. Nice to see you. I apologise, I'm looking at my hair and it's like all over the place because I literally just flew in from my commute home. Hi, Hibbing. MN is in Denver. Oh, hubby is in Denver. If that's what you meant to say, sorry. I messed that up. Glad to be here. Yay, I'm glad you're here as well. Developing an entire new wardrobe and lifestyle. Your channel helps me a lot. Oh, I'm so glad, Kim. If you ever want to come on and talk about your clothing love story, do let me know. Oh, and you'll be sewing it all. Oh, I love it. Oh, you living. Oh, Minnesota. Oh, right. But you're in Denver. Is that Colorado today? Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us from wherever everyone is. Yeah, thank you for joining us from a different city. Let me do, because I haven't done a little clothing love story for a while, so I will tell you about what I'm wearing today before we get into everything else. So this is actually an All Saints dress, which I haven't actually worn in ages, but I love it because it's got this like tie at the back. So then you can sort of obviously cinch it in if you want. And it's it's very sort of short on me. It's like mid-thigh. But I love the sort of colours, kind of muted. It has a sort of pinky purple kind of running through it, which I don't know if you can kind of see that on screen, with a sort of like a dusty yellow, which is why I've got this on, because obviously it's cold here, and yeah, and it just sort of helps to pick that out, so I love it. And Kim, you say listening and learning mode activated whilst I crochet. Oh, wonderful. What in particular are you crocheting? I have my, let me bend down and get my knitting. I will show you. I've done quite a bit since you probably all last saw it. You know, I'm getting there. It's not too bad. I was doing a bit last night, and yeah, getting a bit quicker at it, so it's quite nice. But for those anyone that is watching, but I will go through them if you're not watching, behind me I have my posters from when I did the Free Britney rallies or protests, but we called them rallies, and I thought that I would show them because I kind of wanted this to be a bit of a positive show, because obviously there's been a lot going on. I've just caught up on some bits I didn't realise it happened, so yeah, I kind of want a nice positive thing, because I think there's been a lot of you know, sadness sort of happening of recent. And in particular, after the protest that I did last weekend, finding out about the atrocities that happened within that, yeah, kind of gets me a bit sad, really. So, and also with Marilyn saying that she really liked my poster at the Scientology rally. Yeah, it's really like nice, obviously, when people say stuff like that, because I don't do my own posters just to be awkward or different. I do it because I kind of want them as like a memento for me. And then obviously I can sort of add my twist onto it. Now, obviously, with the Britney, I could get rather creative, and we did a lot of them over sort of many months. So I got very, very creative, and I was making posters for like loads of people that sort of turned up, and then I kept them all. So I have ones that say hashtag Free Britney is a human rights issue, which is kind of what the angle that I went into it for, and which I go into every protest with, is as long as I'm advocating for people, planet, or animals, you know, then obviously I'll be there. But I do have a bit of a sort of stance around, depending what type of protest it's going to be like. Like I haven't been able to attend any of the run up to the climate ones that were happening with like Extinction Rebellion and things, which I would have done in the early days. But then sort of the more they went on, they were not becoming the sort of ones that I would join, because they were becoming quite intrusive into sort of everyday people's lives, which is, you know, sort of not kind of where I am with things. There was many years when I was kind of going around being quite sort of aggressive in a way to people about the fact of sort of saving the planet and things like that, whereas I sort of take a step back from that, and I do more of a I live my life in the way that I want to, that is positive to the planet, and then along that journey I'm then sort of picking people up along the way, and then they are then changing how they live their lives, which is sort of brings a real comfort to me, and yeah, and I think that's a better way to go about life, really. Then some others I've got, so this one in the green and blue is actually a quote from Britney when she was in court, and it says, "My precious body, who's worked for the past 13 effing years." I won't quite say the word. Yeah, court, and I found it very poignant. And yeah, so I wanted to put that on one of the posters. Then again, yeah, then again, I've got another quote with a nice rainbow, a nice bright rainbow behind it. "I'm telling you again, so you can understand the depth and the degree and the damage that they did to me. I want change, Britney Spears." Which again was a part, you know, that was like sort of the beginning part of her statement that I found very powerful, kind of with what she said. So again, that's why I did that. Then we have, this is a fun one. This is like based on sort of Monopoly. So we have Follow the Money, because there was a lot of investigation being done by internet sleuths, one being BJ Investigates. So do go and check her videos. She's very in-depth researching the Brooke case, and sort of spotted a lot of things before obviously things went to court as they are now. Where is Britney's money? Stonebridge, who is the company that Lou Taylor is behind. Investigate Lou Taylor. It's so weird, by the way. I'm reading this out backwards on the screen, but I can see on my other phone that it's coming out right for you guys. Corruption in Hollywood, the cult. Some more cults. And then, sorry, that's where is the $600 million? Because that is the amount that Britney is, well, on top of what she's worth. That's the money that is missing, because they are saying that she's, well, during the conservatorship, they were saying she's worth more. Oh, she's worth, sorry, less money than what she's actually worth, which is interesting. And a lot of that money was her trust money that she had, like a charity and things like that, for a dance school, and they transferred that into, or funneled that money rather into a church run by Taylor as well. I'm thinking churches everywhere. All my life, Britney has been overprotected, and that was a spin on her song. And Britney isn't a slave for you. So yeah, so I sort of, I'm going to stand up. Yeah, got quite creative with them, nice and bright and everything. So yeah, so I just thought that was sort of a nice way to kind of celebrate things. And obviously, for anyone that didn't see the Scientology protest where I did my posters there, you can go and watch my live stream, which has them on. But I did, for the Friday, I had a poster that was just taken from one that Alex had done, that I painted that golden rod, because I found a paint, one of my paints, oh, it's like a perfect match for it, this one. Oh, can't see it very well. If you can kind of see that color, but yeah, I thought that was quite a perfect match for it. And then I, oh, now I can't remember what I wrote on my poster, and I don't think I have it around. No. Hello, Obig, and hello, Sophia. Yeah. Welcome. Oh yeah, I always forget. Sorry, Brad. I always forget that's your username. It's taken me a long time to remember that Sophie is the Mac username. So yeah, give me time on that. And obviously I still call Whitney Wingy. So and yeah, so yeah, I can't remember what I exactly wrote on that poster, but yeah, and then the other side I had that we were obviously live filming, and then for the Sunday I did the little Davy troll on the bonfire, and then on the other side of that, now I can't remember what I wrote on the other side of that, but yeah, so yeah, they were just little fun mementos. Heather, if you want to thumbs me up when you're ready to come on. And yeah, so that's that really. And yeah, so I don't know yeah, if anyone has any comments on the posters, but that is just the reason why they're there. But Heather, I'm gonna add you in if that's good with you. Fabulous.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you?
I've had a busy week. I'm packing to,
Yeah.
I'm going on holiday, but I don't know if seeing your niece and nephew can technically be a holiday.
Oh, don't worry, I'm doing that this weekend as well. It's my niece's birthday on Friday, so
it's
I
that
class
thing
that as a holiday.
it's arrest is as good. Change is as good as arrest. Situation for me where I'll probably be
Yeah, exactly.
but I won't be. I
Yeah, no,
won't
definitely. It might be a holiday, but it's not a rest. That's what I don't class it as.
No. So yeah, I've been busy trying to pack for that, and then we had the ideas that we'll probably talk about later that I spent a lot of the weekend chatting about as well. Yeah. And so yeah, it's
nice. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
As I keep saying to people, I've just got a plan, like a little bit of an idea and a little bit of a plan. I haven't got much further. Like it's one of those organic things. Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was partly why I was
Sophia
running late.
says that she loves the wall, and I presume that's your wall. That's Sophia. She says she loves your wall. Yeah.
It's my bedroom is very much. No, it's a wallpaper. My house in general is very much decorated. I always say that it's very much changing rooms. Early to
oh.
Do you remember changing rooms? Because it was decorated while I was in hospital, and Mum just kept showing me wallpapers, right? But what's happened is there's been like single like in one room. There's like so my bedroom has wallpaper on one wall. My living room has wallpaper on one wall. There's like a feature wall of robots in one room. Do you see what I mean? Like it's just like this weird sort of like it feels very. If anybody ever watched
very changing room,
you would go.
Oh, bless your mum.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. But it just and they worked
so
really hard while I was in hospital because I got the bungalow 2 weeks before I went into hospital, and in the UK, as you might know this. If you get a house, I finally got my bungalow on the local from
the council.
From the council, but they literally stripped them bare of everything. So
no, I didn't know that.
So you have to literally come in and like paint and decorate and do all sorts and refit. Yeah.
Wow.
So and I was in hospital having spinal surgery, and everyone was here over a half term. Using a half term holiday, and I can still spot the areas where small children are have helped out painting the wall because it looks slightly different. But yeah, it's lovely. It's So I didn't know what my house looked. Well, I knew what things were in my house, but I didn't. You know, when you don't know what your house looks like before, like I had that weird thing of like I wasn't there as my house changed. So I saw it when I looked at it, and I saw it when it was done. But there was a weird period in between where we were in lockdown and I couldn't unpack anything I owned. So it was all still in boxes for about 6 months because we were in lockdown, and so I had a decorated house but couldn't move anything out of boxes. So that was fun. But yes, that's how I've got this wallpaper. I believe it's next.
Sorry, I think that's my internet. I lost you there.
Can you sew?
Yeah, sorry. I missed what you said.
I was saying it's next wallpaper, I believe.
Yeah, nice.
And I spent a long time with stuff in boxes because of lockdown. That first lockdown we had, I was shielding, so people were being really careful who could come in the house. So I just had my stuff all still in boxes. So it was just like having to find the box to find the right things to use. So,
exactly.
but now I'm all settled in, and which I should be after as long as I've
Nice.
lived here. So, are you sewing a teddy bear? Is that what I've?
Yeah.
Because I missed the beginning. Sorry, I was.
Oh no, sorry. I don't know. Can you sew a wee Davy teddy bear? I've never. Well, I say I've never sewn an animal. I did a dog once. Turned out iffy. So teddy bears are not something that I've ever sewn before. But no, I'm knitting just a jumper.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'm supposed to knit. I need to
yeah.
knit some baby hats, but I haven't got that far.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
I loom knit, and so that's not.
Oh, my friend's got one of those.
But mine's like the old fashioned loom knit, like the round ones, and well, I have got a square one as well. But the problem is they're not as portable as 2 needles and wool used to be. Like you could just sort of like shove them in your bag, and I know you shouldn't. I know you should be really delicate with everything, but you could literally just like pack it in a bag and run. Whereas you can't with loom knitting because everything is like, well, my set is all like hard wood or hard plastic, and you can't secretly do it. Whereas you used to sort of like find a corner at a party and knit, or knit in a lecture, or because I find it easier to
Oh,
listen to
yeah.
people if I'm doing something else. Like
Oh, interesting.
So, but that could just be my fabulous neurodiversity. But I hate it if you have to sit
Yeah.
if you have to just sit there and just listen, or listen and like I'm more engaged if I'm doing something, which
Yeah.
can be quite interesting for some people because they don't think you're paying attention, but you are paying attention. You're just looking at some, you're making your hands do something else. So
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's introduce Maya onto our screen now. Hey.
Hey, hey.
with a amazing painting.
I'm protesting.
Yeah.
I love this painting.
I love it.
I had to.
absolutely love it.
It was a bit too high, so I had to make it
How many
smaller
that's
to
me
fit in there.
behind?
I made your hair more pink.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So
You're part of the protest as well because you're in front.
Yeah.
Leading the way.
I should have a sign or something that I could.
Oh, and yeah, exactly. We have Brad saying that he's the same. He has to draw, like whilst people are talking, because he's autistic.
yeah, so I've got ADHD and I'm autistic. So I didn't know I was autistic until I was 33. So, but then everybody goes, "Oh my god,
Wow.
that's so why wouldn't we have?" Look back at your entire life and go,
No, yeah.
But people just put it down to it being hidden behind other things. But no, yeah, so it's quite an
That's the
interesting.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy because like I always think of sort of like how do people sort of live with such things for so long, but like one of my friends, she's only just being diagnosed with ADHD and she's 41. you know. So it's like, it's and hers, she's been like saying for years how like sort of the reason why she couldn't get on with work was, you know, like she always put it down to like herself, when, you know, it isn't like solely just her as a person. It's, you know, that she's had these things that sort of she's been trying to fight against, you know.
Which is interesting, because that's one of the things is you always just think it's you, or that everybody must think the way that you do about the thing that you're talking about. Like everybody must get really confused by why people say smart casual on invites to things. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that means? Because I don't understand. And
honestly, I wish I really knew.
everybody I ask gives me a different answer.
That you can, yeah. So I tend to interpret it as you can wear like a smart pair of jeans, and maybe sort of like or you know, or like a sort of more of a t-shirt rather than a shirt or a blouse, you know. So it's sort of, so you might have like sort of smart trousers, but then wear a t-shirt with it, with like sort of a blazer, or you might wear like jeans with then a blazer as well, you know, that kind of thing.
A blazer and jeans. I loved it. Wear a blazer and jeans everywhere, to anything.
Exactly.
I stopped wearing jeans now because they have buttons on them. But but literally, sometimes I still just get the blazer, and I might actually see if I can take one of my more blazery things with me, because now you've reminded me that that is an option for an emergency. Oh my god, I thought you could go and see all of the parents, which my sister will to me.
Oh no.
Because she knows that I'm good, like I'm kind of good at what I do. She sort of like tells all the other parents, and they have their coffee morning, and then she tells them that I should be there. And then I'm suddenly like, hello everyone, and I'm going, oh no. But
yeah.
I'm supposed to be on holiday. I was thinking I was just going to be like catching up on watching, you know, rubbish on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Brad just is asking if he is in the protest painting, which I thought maybe he was one of the ones at the back behind Jeff, but I'm not sure, Maya, if you particularly had Brad as a person on there. He was a guy that was coming into my streams a few times. He was our security.
Yeah, you see, but it was wait. It was just 4 people that I recognize.
Yeah.
That's you and Selena, yeah.
Yeah,
and Jeff,
yeah.
and what's his name? Alex. Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, I'm having okay, there we go.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
you're
this
fine.
is
but there are some faces that I can see at the back.
Yeah, but they are, that's not.
But there are some faces that I can see at the back, so I thought, yeah,
it's filler people. I didn't recognize anyone else, so
no, that's fair enough.
But the most important guy is there in the corner.
Yeah, exactly, little Davey.
And the security guard.
It was also adding into our. Yeah, exactly. Not quite the OSA operative, but or is it the OSA one? Because we had OSA security guards on the Sunday, and then the more friendly sort of local, well, not really local,
Yeah,
but
no,
sort of
this is the
broad-
I saw one of the guys kept following you all over the place.
yeah. That's one of the security teams that they sort of brought in. And Sophia says that she has developed a few of her painting styles by sort of doodling sort of whilst people are, she's like sort of talking to people talking to her, because it's back when we were talking about that. It actually helps to remember the information a lot better, which is very interesting. Yeah. I must admit, I do sort of, if I'm kind of watching something that I want to sort of really hold in, like retain the information, I tend to sort of write it down. So I suppose that's sort of a bit of like that. But I find that or even like if I'm reading something and I want to sort of retain it, if I sort of write sort of bits down along the way, that will go in better than if I just read it or just listen to it.
Yeah, right.
Brad says, can I get a copy of your protest painting for his laptop wallpaper? If that's
Yeah.
something you would allow.
Yeah, that's okay.
We can sort out a PDF and I'll
I
pass
don't.
that on if you want.
Yeah.
however you want to do that. That's up to you.
That was the one I was about to mention. I thought that was
yeah.
I thought it was quite
My
sweet.
regular fabric store was about to check in on me since there was too much going on for me to go there in a few weeks. Oh, how funny. Getting creative supply is about the community too. Yeah, exactly. I have people that like come back to me quite regularly for classes, and yeah, if I don't hear from them for a while, then I sort of try to check in gently.
I haven't managed my local, well, the local crafts store, or the big one in Manchester, isn't wheelchair accessible. So I haven't been able to go in. I think I need to go again, but I have to find somebody who will help me hobble around, because it's like they'll let you in one door, but you'd only be in the bottom bit. You wouldn't be in the top. You wouldn't be in the other bit. It's like weird. So that's a bit frustrating. And then I've been promising my sister that we would go on a sewing machine course for years, but we can't find one. We've both got the same sewing machines. We can't find one because we need like a middle level class, but it's slow. And as if anybody, like, as I was saying in one of our many chats now, I feel like there were 97 different people talking to me a lot. I quite often can throw things, or like I'll make a mistake.
In like frustration.
No, throw them because my hand just doesn't like me.
Yeah. I remember you saying that now. Yeah. Just a random sort of hand tremor kind of thing.
Yeah, so I can use my sewing machine because it's foot free, but I will need time to not swerve and like. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm not a beginner, but I'm and my sister's definitely not a beginner, but we are not so we can't go to that
Yeah,
class.
not in
And,
advance.
if we went to another class, it would probably, they'd tell us that we couldn't be there because I would slow everyone down. And that's always my fear, is finding,
Yeah.
finding classes that work.
Well, not to plug myself, but if you ever want to have a virtual class, I do virtual class, and all my classes are like 1-to-1, so I can definitely have both like you and your sister on, and we can go as slow as you want. I do at some point want to do a bit of a tour of the country.
Well, me and my sister are opposite
sort of
ends
kind
of the
of-
country. So we'd pick one end of
So-
the country to be in and then be and to go and do it. So
Yeah,
if we were doing it in person, it's trying to pick one end of the country.
yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah. Well, so I'm in London, so I can't,
You're in the
sort of
middle.
from Manchester. I don't. Yeah.
You're in the middle of us.
Oh right. Oh, she's south.
You're literally in the middle of us. I
Well,
go
then come to
through
me.
London. I go through London to go and see her.
Oh, yeah, come to me then.
I'm not going to give my
classes, I do
exact route.
1-to-1.
I'm not going to give my exact
No.
route. But yes,
Problem solved.
I go through London. I literally go through London because it's the best route to get there. But yeah, we're in between.
Kim,
It is
yes.
really cool.
Sorry, no, this isn't Kim's. Barbara, yes, I do virtual classes. I haven't really plugged my actual in-person sewing lessons that I do on this channel, but yeah, this is why I have this channel, is to have video of my sewing lessons, but I also do virtual and I do in-person in London. But yeah, I have been thinking about sort of kind of going on the road with it at some point. It'll be next year now, but yeah, to sort of find little centres, because obviously I do mine 1-to-1, and I will do them like with sort of like a pair of people if that's what sort of people want as well. But I try not to go past that 2, because I find it's sort of kind of hard to sort of keep track of what people are doing. But I like to keep them small for that reason, that so many people come to me anytime that I say, oh, maybe I'll do bigger classes so then I can sort of charge a bit less, and people say no, because we don't learn anything on those classes. So
no, I
stick to being 1-to-1.
I was in the Embroiderers Guild, and I was in.
Oh wow! Wow.
I haven't been for years, but it was what my grandmother was in. So. And I know I sound very southern when I say that. I'm very aware of it. But the reason that we wanted to do it it was one day my sister didn't realise that she knew we had the same sewing machine. I don't think she'd realised entirely we had the same sewing machine. But then she didn't also, when she did realise, she was like, what do you mean it's hands-free? Like, it's foot-free? And I was like, you just press that button. Just that button.
I've got one like that, yeah.
And she's like, what?
I need to get that one fixed, but I love it. I
was making my niece's superhero cape for her birthday one year, and I hadn't finished it. And so I needed to borrow hers, and she's like, I don't know if you'll be able to use it. You have to use a foot pedal, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And I got there and it was the same one. And then before that, I'd been saying I'd take her on a sewing course. And then I was like, no, it makes sense for us to both go on it, because then if we could both be able to remember, that's the thing. Like, one of the reasons I have a personal assistant is so that he can help me remember things and help me do things. Not just help me do things, but help me remember things. So it's that kind of thing. So, which is really strange when you go to any family event and you haven't told anybody who he is, and you're just going, could you just go and grab me a glass of water, please? And they're like, who is? How? Or he'll come and remind me of something, and they'll be like, why is he talking to you like that? And I'm like, he's my personal assistant. It's his job to like. He's being polite, but it's just really randomly being like, "Do you want a drink for the bar? Can I have your debit card?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And people are like, "Who is this person?"
Random person, yeah.
It's because we're so used to different ways of people receiving support that the idea that somebody can have support like that, where their support comes to weddings with them, or
Do you
Exactly.
do you have a full-time assistant?
No, unfortunately
No.
not. I get 17 hours a week with my personal assistant, and then I get another half an hour, hour, it's supposed to be an hour, with a care agency, morning and night, like split across those two. But
Yeah.
that hour never really happens. It won't be
Oh.
visits as long as that. I don't know if anybody else has ever seen a care visit, but they will literally be there for like the one I've just had, it has been 10 minutes.
Wow.
So
Yeah, there's a guy in the studio. His parents have both got dementia. The dad is particularly very, very bad. And yeah, they're meant to like sit with him, sort of like make some dinner, which is just sort of like something that's like been pre-made and sort of, so they just need to like microwave it, but then sit with him and like either like watch him eat, so like sit there the whole time, or literally like feed him, because he will just forget to eat. And then obviously, because then like the mum's got the dementia as well, you know, sort of she can't you know, sort of obviously look after him. And yeah, but like he'll like always ring them up, and they'll be like, you know, sort of the mum will be like, no, you know, sort of they didn't stay there, and then he'll get on the phone with like the carer, and yeah, and then they'll like act as if like they weren't, you know, like they didn't know they were meant to do these things, which is just so sad. Just to say good night, Brad.
Good night, Brad.
Be up at 4 a.m.
No, like this morning, they hadn't arrived by 10:15. 11:15. Sorry.
11:15, wow.
And they are supposed to be here. Like I've said, I don't mind having the first call of the day. Like literally, like I'll be awake in the middle of the night. So you might as well come and get me up at. I'll be the first call of the day. I don't mind. And people are like, but they'll come and try. So if they're as late getting me up as 10:30, as like 11:30, then they'll try and come to put me to bed at 6:15. Today she literally arrived as I was supposed to be logging on to be here. So
oh my god,
that's why I was running late. I was like, oh no, why?
Yeah.
There's no structure. There's no reliability or structure to it, which as somebody who needs that, like,
exactly,
how can you plan? You can't really plan in the same way. And so my sister's already with her list of like, I've already told her that I can do all the things the kids want as long as I know when they want to go on their adventure, and what I need to wear will be good. We'll be fine, which is all good. So
exactly.
have you been making anything interesting? See, I know your screen name isn't your name, and that's really bad now. Maya?
Yeah. It's my name. It's my name. It's just I had to change it because it it's Miyji, and
Oh,
no one understood that it was just Maya. So I just figured, what the heck?
okay.
Just-
So is the painting the most recent exciting thing you've been making?
no, I did it when the protest was going on, and because I was watching it, and that's what I do. I just, yeah. And when we got the email from Claire that it was like protest and yeah, whatever, and I figured, oh, I can just put up that that painting.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
man, but I'm working on painting the you watch Reese?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. I pretty much watch most people, so I just lose track
yeah,
of everything. I feel like I need like
yeah.
Scrolling through.
Because I have this picture of Gertie in when she's born next to Jesus. So I really want
Oh,
to do things.
lovely.
So I get this all these images in my head, and I yeah.
That's so
So
cute.
that
I love her story
might
that she said
happen.
about Gertie.
she's nuts. I love her. Just say things, anything. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so fun. And the stories, and
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I can relate to her. It's just she's relatable.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, definitely. That's what I feel. Yeah, I need to catch up on her reading that diary of her dad's. I haven't managed to catch any of those yet, and I want to go to like the beginning and sort of do a whole run through of them. So
yeah, I think I saw something today, and she was reading some from the book, but I think yesterday she was posting, and I think it stood in the title that she was going to read from the book, but I don't think she did.
she did.
So she went on
Goes off on yeah,
yeah,
rabbit hole.
so
Nice.
yeah, but yeah,
Oh,
but Gertie is
no,
so
sorry, I was
lovely.
she's so cute.
Yeah, she's so cute,
So
and
Kim's
in the
just
story,
saying, yeah, to go with your name, you writing your name differently to how it's your name is actually written because of how it's pronounced. Kim's surname is pronounced High, which I think when sort of like I first saw someone bring your name up, Kim, I always had a feeling that that's how it's pronounced, because it's sort of that kind of double, that sort of like E after the Y that I always think sort of makes the sort of first E is meant to sound the E as a E rather than an E. Anyway, yeah, UK people pronounce it correctly. Yeah, unfortunately, the US don't get many
I have been
words over here.
I have been appreciating some of our American colleagues trying to pronounce the British place names and British food items.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that. I don't know why I called them colleagues. That was weird, but like,
yeah.
in my head, I don't know, but it's just that thing of like, just like, oh no, That's not how you say that. Or that
know,
Yeah, exactly. I always like to laugh.
I get
I do a little
so
dance
messed
to
up.
get it right.
When I started learning English when I was a kid in school, so it was English, like UK English we had to learn, and we wasn't allowed to pronounce it like American English. So, but movies and stuff we were watching, it was mostly American, and now when it's so rare that I talk English, speak English, so I get so confused in my head, because in my head it sounds just it's just
Oh,
lovely.
Yeah.
I'm so good at speaking English in my head, but something happens on the way out to the mouth, and the translation stuff and everything that's going on from my brain to until it comes out my mouth, it just I don't know what's wrong. It's and when you speak English, and the people I have spoken to have been American, so I naturally will do the American English. So, and now my head is just so confused because I'm not
yeah.
used to talking to English people.
No, I just find it really funny because they put in and you're, but you've spoken like if it was a worry, it shouldn't be a worry, because I've always understood what you've said, so that's shouldn't be a worry. Like,
Thank
even
you.
if you think it's inside your head as one way and then it comes out, it's not.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm so good at speaking English in my head, but a few years ago I had a visitor. I had some relatives visiting, so I was speaking English for 2-3 weeks or something, and I was speaking daily for many days, and it's just practice, because the words are so different, and the sounds I have to make with my mouth is so different from what I usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I figure if you don't if you have problem with it, you can learn Norwegian and speak with me. So
Yeah,
that's my but
yeah,
yeah.
I can see
Exactly.
that.
This is Mayas.
Yeah, it's not a chance. I don't really I put out a video of a reindeer. This is short. I was walking right past my front door, so, but I'm not really posting
Oh
anything. So
I looked up how to change my Instagram name, so I might be on my way. You never know. I worked it, and I really.
Oh, nice.
Well, if I'm gonna suggest something that involves far too many, that might involve various people, I should probably have some way that people can contact
Be all
me.
professional with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, I'm makeup artist without
what's your do you have Instagram now?
So I have Instagram.
Yeah,
I just haven't changed it to my like header from the UK, so it just exists. Because
Okay.
as I've said before to people, like I can do content. I could do content for years. I don't know if mine's actually. I haven't got one yet. This is the whole. Everyone keeps telling me to get one.
To be continued.
People keep telling me to get one.
Oh, Kim has subscribed.
You can let me see.
And I will put this up to remind everyone to like this, like our show, and
Yes, please.
and subscribe to me if you haven't. Oh, Barb says, get on that girl.
Well,
She will do.
I probably should do if I've suggested that we
Baby
should all do
steps.
something on the 3rd of December. So
Yeah, exactly.
we'd probably have a YouTube channel by or start
By then.
to coordinate. I don't know.
Certainly.
But for those that don't know, the 3rd of December is International Day of the International UN International Day of the Disabled for Disabled Persons. I always get it mixed up because it doesn't match the language I use. I think this was what we were talking about Mark with.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
The UN chose it because it matches enough countries would recognize it as the way that they it matches enough systems of disability, not systems. What do you call them?
So
Models
they say like the disabled people.
So disabled people means that I instead of a disabled person having to be fixed, the society around that person should be adapted and fixed for that person, and it doesn't pathologize disabled people, so you don't suffer from, I have impairments which affect certain things. You can say my conditions are, and it isn't to say like you can't talk about not having, not needing medical treatment or like any of that kind of thing, because those are things that help you. But it's that thing of, instead of the goal being making people as usual or like typical as possible, what you're trying to do is adapt to society and make the society more inclusive of disabled people. Whereas Americans use people first language, where the language is built on the idea that you should think about the people before you think of their disabilities. So that's why theirs is the other way around.
Right.
They will say a person with disabilities, a person with cerebral palsy, a person with that's people first language, and it still works it can still work in the social model, but it doesn't always work alongside the social model. This is why I need a channel. This is why people tell me that. But
have you seen the best part to educate people and to get them to know something? I think it's to use humor. And
I use humor all of the time.
Because but I have sometimes I watch this. I don't know if you know. I don't remember what's her name, but it's a girl with Tourette's.
Oh yeah, no, I know who.
And
Tourette's the hero.
She is so funny, and she jokes. It's a horrible syndrome or whatever. It has to be difficult. It's just the way it is, I think. But she makes it so fun and at the same time, she shows the truth how it is. I don't know if you know. I know, Heather, if you have if we're talking about the same.
I don't know the particular channel, but I am aware of. I think about the Tourette superhero, possibly, or Tourette
Yeah, but
super.
because she's like a extreme case. She's her house is like cooking with Tourette's syndrome, and knives flies, and it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy. But she
gosh.
laughs about it herself. It's so funny. Maybe I
So
should think.
in my, the thing I always think about is I would rather educate people in a way that means that people don't feel defensive and people aren't upset by the things that are being said. So, like, oh, why are we calling that the disabled toilet? Has it suddenly stopped working? Do you mean the disabled toilet? Or,
Yeah.
oh, is that the disabled parking space? What, has it got a pothole?
Better than grooming in Akita is grooming.
Yeah.
It's that kind of humour. Whereas it, or when I was talking about being a makeup artist with cerebral palsy somewhere, and I was talking about the fact that I have to tell people that sometimes I think tweezers are a shiny pebble, so I have to tell people. I have to explain to people how to apply eyelashes rather than actually applying them for them, because the tweezers, I can't let go of the if I was doing it, I can't use the tweezers. My hand thinks it's a shiny pebble. But my thought was the international for the International Day for the UN Day for Disabled People. I've probably got the name wrong. I've celebrated it every year, and I had this harebrained idea that we should come together at SPtv and look at the links between high demand things and disability.
Definitely.
And maybe talk about disability language and the differences across the things, but also like the impact and the risks for disabled people with cults and high demand religions. So I don't know.
There's a lot of people.
I've started a few people because lots of people have said that they will be there. Right, so Kim says that she is disabled. Oh, has a disability. Oh no, sorry, is on disability. And has come up with a. Yeah, I don't want to. I wasn't reading it properly at the start. I want to say that she's disabled when she's on disability. So I don't know what that means, what she has. But yeah, she's coming up with a plan to be self-sufficient, which is absolutely amazing. My aunt has MS, and she's been going through some things over like the past year to sort of kind of the husband passed, so now she's having to do a lot more herself, and she actually gave up smoking, which has given her back a lot of her mobility and things like that, which is absolutely amazing because she had gotten really rock bottom with it. And Kim also says that education is so important. It absolutely is. And then Jennifer, who has joined us, said that they are disabled, but my country does not give me the status because according to them, I haven't worked enough years to be entitled to benefits, which is very sad.
So that was an interesting thing that came up in the chat with when I was in the chat on Oh,
Oh, the messenger
Marilyn's
chat.
channel. No,
Yeah.
Marilyn's channel when she had a live and
Oh.
it came there. And it was people talking about how they weren't officially disabled because the government hadn't given them a piece of paper or given them benefits. And it's like the social model, that's very much in that sort of being medicalized, being although if you wanted to talk to Ian Duncan Smith, that wasn't the plan, but in the UK anyway, that wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
He had redesigned the system to not medicalize us. It's a load of boys. Sorry. And
No.
so it's about, instead, in the social model, it's about saying, actually, what do I need to survive in this? What do I need to be able to what does our community need? But also, what do I need personally? So it's like things like, for me, I really struggle, and I know this for a lot of other people, is trying to plan journeys on websites, but then having to go to a different website to input other information, it not being all interconnected. So I have to, for my travels, I have to book my train tickets and then go to a different website to book my travel assistance. But not all of the places that I am going to travel through will realise that I'm on the same journey. But I also have to book that travel assistance about 2 days. I have to book it tomorrow for a trip I'm taking on holiday, and that's me running late. Technically, I should do it tonight. If I get a chance to do it tonight, I will do. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. But you're supposed to do it 24 to 48 hours before. They did say you could do it 2 hours before, but no, it's never worked for anybody. I don't know anybody it's worked for. The system, and it's trying to take the burden off yourself and say the society is the thing that is disabling to me. That's what's making living with these impairments or these health conditions that are, like, people were talking about the fact that fibro might not class me as a disabled person. And I was like, not my fibro, but their fibro. And I was like, it doesn't stop you from being able to do certain tasks, unable to integrate into society effectively. That's a really weird phrasing, but that's quite academic as a phrasing. It's all of those things. Does it affect? There are so many models and charts. But it's about that thing where are your impairments being limited by the society you live in? Basically, how the social model, how it thinks and what it thinks of. So that's where it is. So
exactly, and I think there's so many things, like when I sort of look around, sort of kind of tubes and sort of like lifts aren't working or whatever, buses that don't go up to the curb properly and things like that, and you just sort of think like, what if they had someone on there that sort of was disabled? I've had clients come to me, and then they have to like go around the long way, all because the lift at the station isn't working and things like that, or sort of get a cab from the station all the way round, when like usually it'd be like sort of like a 10-minute walk, but sort of I could hear that happening.
That's what you call that's what you call a backdrop.
Literally.
Is it
one of my little groceries has fallen down. But yeah, sorry. So yeah, so sort of whatever the equivalent in a wheelchair would be to like sort of 10 minutes walking. But you know, it's sort of that versus like a cab journey around sort of the long way that could be you know, like another half an hour, which is just ridiculous.
So for me
or,
on
you know, like they're not keeping
for
up
me
with the
on
maintenance.
Friday, people won't realise this, but for me on Friday, and people don't until I talk about it, I have to book my start looking for my taxi an hour before I plan to leave.
It's just ridiculous.
Because there are only so for us there are only 6 Ubers, and there are black cabs, but they won't. They're unlikely. But then when I'm down south, there is literally not an accessible taxi for, I think, the last one, which the train company had to send because they wouldn't let make a member of staff travel on the train or do any of the other accessible things on trains that they're meant to do. He had travelled already an hour and a half to us before he was dropping us home.
Oh my gosh.
And that's already a headache before you've even thought about anything else. So
that makes it hard even before you have left the house, and that's.
Oh yeah, no. I've already had to book the wheel because I can't use my wheelchair in my sister's car. I've already had to book the wheelchair for Saturday to go to look at a Nutcracker event in the gardens. Very excited. Need to look up the Nutcracker so I can plan my outfit.
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
Because I'm that. Apparently, that was one of the things that people didn't notice. I'm that kind of. I like matching outfits and like planning my outfit to match what we're doing. That's why I find like before May got here when we were talking about smart casual. Is that thing of I like to know what we're doing and how we're doing it and what's expected so I can plan my outfit. Also partly because if I'm taking my niece with me, I'll have to be doing it being a makeup artist first thing in the morning. Hopefully I'll have coffee in hand, like coffee next to me. There has been times when I haven't. So it's
but
weird.
this the day, the 3rd of December, was that the day? Is that the right day? December 3rd?
Yes.
Is a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
But is it a day for disability with only like physical? Well,
no, it's all disabled.
Because it's so many people that have the invisible disability. I have a lot of disabilities, and a lot of problems to trouble to go places, and not because I can walk and I don't need a wheelchair, but I have a lot of pain, and so I haven't really considered myself as disabled person, but maybe I am. I am.
I'm just looking up the Day of Disability. UN International. Here we go. Why is the first link come up as the World Health Organization?
Oh gosh.
Definitely is a UN day. I thought I was right. Here we go. This is what I am talking about. Where are we? Me moving across Control. Is that gonna do weird things now? Oh, it's because it's taken the text out of it. There we go. Oh, apparently my comment has failed to post. I think you have to check.
I have had trouble to post too.
Do you want
So
to
I
put
don't
it in
know
the
if-
private chat and I can
Yeah.
I can transfer it over.
So this is the UN Day of Disability, like the description of it. But the description of I'm going to work off the disabled. Going to work off the one GM. Mm-hmm.
But do you get the extra paid or something to cover the taxi and when
No,
you can take nothing?
So I get I don't want to go fully into the thing, but I do get various kinds of support, but it doesn't cover everything.
No.
It's said that the disabled people in general will spend per month an extra £527, I think was the last stat I looked up. From the scope survey, not that I like it should be rights over charity, but anyway, that's a whole other conversation for a different day. But here we go. So
because here I know the old people and probably disabled people too can it's a taxi card that they can use. They get a certain amount of money on a card that they can use to drive the taxi.
really,
So yeah, but the problem is it's not that much. So
yeah, that's
so
the same thing we have here with a lot.
It's yeah, my grandmother she passed away a couple of years ago. She was closing in on 107, I think, and she was a spicy woman, and she had that kind. She and her friend, neighbor woman, they had this taxi card, and so that she was supposed to use to get to the doctor and to get around, but they was saving the card. So when at the end of the year, I think it's like 6 months they get, and when it's closing in on the end, they took a long trip. So suddenly one day I got a phone call from a strange unknown number, and I was thinking, oh, what's it? So I answered it, and it was my grandma. She was calling me from the taxi driver's phone, and she was just gonna let me know that she and her friend and another friend was going to Finland to eat dinner. so they used their cards.
Oh my god!
So listen, are you going to Finland to eat dinner? Yeah, they was on a trip, so
That's so funny.
Okay, take taxi to Finland to eat dinner. That's
So, according to the social model of disability, we define the things about as organisational barriers. So things like, for example, in one hospital, it may be an audiology department only allowing appointments to be booked over the phone. Yet ophthalmology site department sends letters to patients, but only in standard print. By having inaccessible systems in place, everyday tasks which everyone has, such as arranging appointments, become more difficult for disabled people. Physical barriers, these are things that in the built society, for example, buildings with steps or without a ramp or a lift, this can be also be buildings where the ground floor is accessible, but the rest of the building is not. And that makes life really quite inaccessible, I can tell you now. Attitudinal barriers. This is where people have negative attitudes towards disabled people. For example, this could be low expectations of disabled people's ability, intelligence, discriminatory attitudes, bullying, a lack of respect, unequal treatment. For example, some people will speak to a disabled person's PA / care. Other countries call them something else, but a personal assistant for me is he's the person that I get to help me do things in my daily life. And then I have a care agency who are care assistants who I don't employ directly. They are employed through an agent's, like through a care company. So that's how that works. But if I was out in a shop with my personal assistant, somebody might talk to him instead of talking to me. And the trick is there for if somebody's talking to you instead of the person you're with, you should be like, oh, is that okay with you? Like being really like, I find being like polite but obvious. Like there is no point in asking my PA Adam if he found all of the makeup things he was looking for in the shop. He wasn't looking. If he was looking for me. Do you see what I mean? The thing, he was assisting me to find them. There's no point. He doesn't know. He might have the list, but he doesn't know the difference between, elf pencils and elf eyebrow pencils and an eyeliner pencil. Like
He should know.
I think he does, but he also wouldn't know if we'd managed to pick it up or not. Do you know what I mean? Like if we were in the shop, like the shop assistant going, have you found everything you needed? You might not know. And it could be discriminatory attitudes such as like not employing somebody for a job because you think that they wouldn't be able to thing. And in the social model, it states that the society is responsible for removing the barriers that disabled people face in order to enable disabled people to have an equal and included and valued part in society. And this is where the impairment and disability thing comes in. So an impairment is when part of a person's body, mind, or emotions works differently to what is considered normal by society. Disability is the barriers, discrimination, and prejudice disabled people face. It is not our bodies, mind, or minds that disable us. It is society. So that's whereas the medical model is very much like, oh well, you can't.
What's wrong with it?
You can't do these things, so we must take you away from the thing. Does that make sense? Like, or we must.
Another thing when I didn't when I had to stop working because I was working with old people, and I don't know what, not a nurse, but close to a nurse, something like that. So when I had to stop working, I finally got the papers that I could go on disability pay. So I got so depressed, and I didn't tell, and I couldn't tell anyone for several months that I had that I lost so much about my identity. So it was hard to meet someone in the grocery store and oh, hello, what are you doing? And nothing. It was really weird. That part, it's not like a disability to not be able to go in the store, but yeah, you understand.
well, if it's affecting your mind and it's affecting your emotions, it is a disability.
Yeah, at that point, for a moment it was, but then I started painting, and it really helped me, because when I now when I meet someone at store, I can say, oh, I'm painting, I'm an artist, I paint. So
Yeah.
I kind of got some a new identity, so that I like that. So
There's something
That's
about the way that we have conversations about, like, so what do you do for a living?
yeah,
That's
because it's that expectation, and not when you don't, and when like, it's that invisible. When I stand there talking to them, they don't see how much pain I have, and how my emotions is going everywhere, and because I have complex PTSD, and yeah, but the rest is physical stuff. But so I'm just, and it's really annoying that here it's not allowed to have emotional support dog. Is that the name? Is that what's it called?
yeah.
yeah.
Emotional support
Yeah,
dog.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that's a strange thing to not allow.
Mm.
That
yeah,
just okay.
no, it's just for blind people, and people with probably people in wheelchair, if they have a dog that I'm not sure, but
Ah.
like a golden retriever is what, that's, yeah, blind
Yeah.
Yeah.
people, they can, yeah, but emotional support dog, that's not considered a, and I have a little support dog that I could take with me, but no,
Oh,
so that's
that's
really
really
annoying. And today I went to the dentist, and after Reese and Aaron, was it that they talked about the what's the oh, what's it called, the blind people braille, no, is that
great.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I looked at in the elevator, and oh yes, that's it's but so it was no, what's happened, and it was braille in the elevator, but when I got to the floor that I was going to, the voice that say
Mm.
what floor it is was so low that I couldn't hear what it said. And I'm thinking, well, that's a bummer, because you can press the button, but you have no idea when you arrive. If someone else has pressed
That's the
another
thing.
button, and so
Yeah. It's it,
And it's interesting, I find, sort of when you kind of start to realise these things sort of as a quote unquote sort of normal person, you know, like someone that doesn't have that as sort of a disability, you know, is sort of, and you're seeing it and you're just like, well, you know, why has no one else seeing it?
so we would say, using the social model, a non-disabled person. If
Right,
you,
sorry, non-disabled.
Americans often say able-bodied person,
Right.
which by using that phrasing, what you're saying is that other people aren't. It's really, for me, it feels very like it takes away any of the other abilities that I do have as a
Yeah,
phrase.
exactly. Yeah, I've never liked that phrasing, able-bodied.
And did you know that the word handicapped, although if you're watching this and you watch anything else, this might be a repeating fact. Handicapped comes from the phrase "hand in cap," cap in hand, handicap.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
cap in
That's really
Cap in
what?
hand, so begging, cap in hand.
Oh,
Mm,
oh,
That's
okay,
where
I get it. Yes.
handicapped comes from.
That's crazy. I never would have thought that.
So that's
Yeah,
what
I
they
had
think.
no idea.
I'm not going to think of the fancy word now, but you know how you
No.
can trace how words work. That's where they think. That's how they think it's developed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The epilology. The epilology.
Epilology, yeah.
I'm sure it's epilology. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I feel like I've heard that word, yeah. And Barbara's just saying that her daughter is deaf and wears hearing aids. So tough. Yeah, my sister was born without adenoids and, well, not without. They fell out when they were sort of in the, her adenoids and grommets fell out, and that early. So she was deaf for sort of her first few years. And then my niece, when she was born, well, 6 months into after she was born, we found out that she had a genetic default, and she had to go back for hearing stuff every now and then. But they actually taught her when she was like sort of from birth, baby sign language, which was like absolutely amazing for you to like be able to communicate with a baby. You know, very simple things like sort of that she was thirsty or sort of wanted food and things like that, and then up to like thank you and things like that. But yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah,
So I think it's so underrated, communication.
learning how to sign is on my list of things I want to learn.
It's so fascinating. I took a class once to learn sign language, but it's like speaking English. I don't remember because I never use it. I have always liked sign language for some reason. So, but this is 20 years ago, so I don't remember. But I actually I think it's the only single class course or something I did on my own without the work was telling me to do it and something. I just did it, and it was fun, but you don't use it, you forget.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You forget most things until you either forget them entirely or suddenly you're in the middle of doing something and you're like, oh, I remember how to do this, but I haven't done it in years. I don't know how I remember this. So
yeah. Barbara's just saying that she doesn't think like that, and I think that's when we were saying about the sort of difference in the sort of journey of kind of sort of language into signing and things like that. Because she was saying in a previous comment about it being tough, and I think it is because I remember when my sister was like sort of young, I am now understanding that a lot of sort of things that I'm kind of confronting nowadays is actually sort of back from that time, because she almost got run over one time, and I have a kind of a weird memory of it, of sort of whether it's actually my memory, but it's almost like a projection, like looking down on what happened. So we were like a sort of crossing in the middle of the road, and she ran off ahead of us, and she would have been, I don't know, like 3 or something, so I was probably about 4 or 5, and there was a great big lorry coming, and from kind of that day we sort of we'd already moved across town, but we were over that way because I'd gone to Brownies. And then it wasn't long after that I said to my mum, you know, like, we don't have to go anymore, kind of thing. So my mum, obviously the driver had a massive go at my mum. My mum was obviously sort of, scared out of her mind that, my sister was going to get killed. But I've never realised that remembering that I said that, we didn't have to go brownies, I just presumed it was me, it being because it was so far across town and everything. But my mum has actually said to me recently that is due to this happening, that, she was so upset that I sort of said, we don't have to kind of go back there anymore. So I understand when people sort of have a hard time with children that are deaf. Like my niece is not. She just has like hearing issues sometimes. But yeah. So it's sort of, yeah. I just wanted to say, Barbara, I understand that it's hard, and yeah, we're not trying to make light of it. But I do, sort of, I think sort of learning sign language as as like a secondary language for anyone is a very important thing, because I think there's so few people that are not deaf that sign, sort of. I think it's a nice thing to be able to do if you can. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it with my new niece. So yeah, so I might come on doing some baby sign language, but that's all I'll be learning. And just to say hello to Poe. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Make sure that you like the stream. But yeah, sorry. It's a long rant on something. Shall I go? Because we had some starred comments from before that I didn't get to bring up before. So I'll just go down from the top. I think this goes back to when we were talking about crafting. So Kim was saying that she has plenty of things that she, plenty of stuff that she wants, but things, plenty of stuff, but I want things I need. Oh yeah, that's when she was talking about sewing her own clothes. But what I want to do,
need
I need
because
what I want.
she's a hoarder. She's a hoarder too.
I could easily go
exactly.
into a craft shop and buy craft stuff.
Can I ask, Jackson's art supplies? Is there a store that, or is it just online store? Jackson's?
I've never heard of it. Our local one.
You never heard of Jackson's? What?
No, we have one called Hobbycraft.
Holy moly! Oh, I love Jackson's. Jackson's art supplies. I think it's in the UK. I order there all the time because a lot of stuff I can't. Almost everything I need, I have to order because it's so. This town is so small, and it's just so I order, and mostly from Sweden actually, but Jackson's in the UK, I
recognize the logo, which means that
they have everything. And I was thinking, oh, my dream is if there is a store, that Jackson's has a store. That's my dream to go.
Interesting.
Or maybe not, because I would be broke.
Cat Art, which is like a massive, they have a massive store in Covent Garden, which is like many a floors high, with so much art stuff.
Yeah, I probably couldn't go in a big store like that, because I would
too overwhelming.
Yeah, and I would buy everything, and
yeah, it is very dangerous. I easily spend £100, if not £2.
Yeah, I get on these roll things, and suddenly, oh, it's this thing I need, and then I need everything. I need it's not normal. I know that, and I have plenty of stuff, but sometimes I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, then I was into computers, and when the laptops was starting to get good enough to get rid of them, the big computer, what's it called, stationary
Oh
computer,
yeah, the
and just use a laptop. And I was so a maniac, but
there does
so
appear to be
I
stores.
I had 6 laptops lying around because
oh
I
why not?
yeah, that's it was too much. But
Uh,
that was now I have I get medicated for ADHD, so
Oh
I was suddenly oh, I need a station wagon. I was driving, and 2 days later I just drove right to the car shop and bought a new car. So
yeah.
um,
I thought
so
you
I
were going to
just
say it.
looked it up.
Yeah.
There does appear to be
Stores.
a Jackson Arts
Ah.
supply shop. It's only currently listing 3, but that doesn't mean there isn't more of them. It's just that Google's being Google. We have got Jackson's Art Supply in where are we going here? Is that Handover?
Oh yeah.
I think. I'm literally looking at the map now and going, where are they? Oh no, sorry. There's one in London. There's one in London at Fairley Place. Then there's one in Gloucester.
Oh.
And then there is one in the way they've written their Google entries is hilarious. Oh, there's 2 in London actually. There's one on the station approach for one of the train stations. I can't work out which one. So there are 2 in London at least, and there's one in Gloucester. If you were, but that doesn't mean there aren't more of them. It just because it came up as Sheffield as well. So who knows?
Oh, interesting. There we go. All over the shop.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
when people ask things like that, I have to Google them. It's mine.
Yeah, go definitely.
I don't. How did we survive without Google? I don't know how.
Yeah,
was able to
literally.
grow
I
without.
was always in the library or places like that. I was under my mum has stories of me being underneath she'd go and do her family history stuff, and I would
Oh yeah.
be really excited about writing all of the information in the books.
Oh nice.
The encyclopedias and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I was going to say encyclopedias. I love an encyclopedia. And Brad was saying before about he likes going to sewing shops, which he has all the cool tools but none of the skills.
my recommendation there, which somebody might not agree with, is look at the kids' kits. Want to learn how to cross stitch? Look at a kids' kit. It'll be the simplest design you can find. Want to learn how to?
Very, very good idea.
Want to know how to? I'm trying to think what else I've done through a kids' kit. I've done all sorts of things through kids' kits. Like I think I want to take a cross stitch on holiday, and I've got too many. But one of them's like a mini, like Brussels sprout with a hat, or like and they're all like kids kits. They're like the kids kits that you can get for like a pound or something.
Nice.
And they're just really, if you want to learn something, like learn calligraphy, there's normally like one of my favorite places to get craft stuff sometimes is the Works.
Oh yeah, the works is very good.
Like, if you need any like random craft things, try the
Yeah,
works
exactly.
first. Especially if you can't get into a big town or city, go to the works, and you can get like a book on how to do
Yeah,
calligraphy.
exactly. Everywhere has the works.
So, yeah, I go and start. I think I'm looking at your
Yeah,
start comments.
yeah. I was just seeing what else was in the chat. Yeah, so Barb was saying, Tam B Man was saying, I go and start to paint and put this channel on and wind up in the chat and not painting. Or have managed to get some painting done. To see your wares. And Kit was saying that her interpersonal communication skills could be challenging for me, but I'm multilingual in crafts and creativity. I love that. That's my thing as well. Also, I was going to say, when we were talking about languages, so how yours brain works, Maya, with English is how mine does it with Spanish. Because I did French at school, and then I did a bit of Italian, because we would go there a few years when I left school, and then I did it at university, but sort of the fashion version, so nothing I couldn't, didn't really get anything practical from it. But you know, sort of, so when I go Italy, I pick up like Italian quite well. I can go France and do French quite well. But then I go Spain, and even though I look at my phrase books and do all that, I go and talk, and a combination of French and Italian comes out.
Yeah, right.
People look at me like, "What's going on?" Yeah, so that's always a laugh.
Yeah, it's weird to translate, and yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So sometimes, maybe especially English people, Heather, sometimes I can have a trouble understanding your dialect, so because from where you come from. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
well.
but
I've come from the. So what's interesting is, I grew up in the south of England. So I grew up on the in the southeast. So, and then sort of Brighton-y way ish.
That's
yeah,
where
because I
And
don't
then
know.
I live in Manchester. So my accent and the way I turn words in my make words is a mixture of the two of those, but also because of my cerebral palsy, it means that sometimes the way I speak isn't quite right. So I apologise if that's.
Oh no! Don't apologize. I hear you. I can hear you. You speak like a type of English dialect that I have trouble sometimes understanding, but it's just the way the words are pronounced, and when I are going. But the thing is, if there is a word here and there I don't understand, if we have a conversation and I listen to you, so then further down mostly I get the
But
the
if
whole
I've
picture.
ever spoken too fast, or I've said a phrase something that somebody doesn't understand, that they can come back and ask. Like,
Oh yeah, yes, of course, and I like to say also that because if I say something, because we have a weird sense of humor here, but I know we SPtv people do too. So, but maybe if I say something that's wrong, or something that's I understand something wrong, and I sound rude, I'm not trying to be rude. ever. So
No.
I like to say it because sometimes words are said pronounced differently, and when I think it's funny in my head maybe, but when it comes out it may be rude. I don't know, but I just like to say I'm
Oh,
not
don't worry.
trying to be rude.
We're not I don't think sort of kind of English people ever really take people sort of trying to speak obviously the language. We sort of, you know, kind of understand that you're sort of trying your best, and at the most we'll sort of correct you so that then it helps you for the next time. But you know, sort of, I've never met anyone that's sort of being rude to someone because of, you know, kind of like how they're spoken. So I'm sorry if you've ever had that in the past, but yeah.
Yeah, no, not really. But I just like to because it's the cult culture and things can be different from. I know, especially from America, that sometimes I have some American friends and I can say stuff that I understand they think it's kind of weird, and
Yeah.
but that's mostly I type we type text, so I don't speak it, but
Yeah.
you
No, it's
understand. But
always
I in my head it's natural to say that, and but when it comes, but when a person with another culture hear it, it can sound completely different to them. If you know, if you understand, yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'm
just like to.
I'm giggling at some of these comments that are coming in.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just
missing a
couldn't
lot.
help myself. They're quite good.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like there's one that's just come in. It's like,
Oh
I'd
no,
give
we.
you water, but I'd probably be busy on TikTok.
Yeah. We understand you all. Don't worry. Well, Claire's Cockney accent is tough. It's not Cockney. It's Essex. It's though I've lived in East London for long enough that it's near enough there. Claire's the only one I have trouble understanding. Sorry, Pav. I try not to speak too quick, but I got bullied when I was younger by teachers as well for talking slow or for not talking at all. So I apologise.
Yeah, but
As
Claire,
I've gotten older,
you pronounce words some words different. So, but now I'm getting used to it. So, but I can hear some words are like that's. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's probably your dialect. I haven't heard all the.
No,
So some.
I'm a weird. My accent over the years has become a weird mix. To the point that my niece was very, very young. I made her cry because she was going, "I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry," and I was like, "Don't worry, Mum's just gone to go and put on tea," and she cried. Well, she's born in the southeast. Don't use the phrase tea. Don't.
Tea, yeah.
Tea has to mean your evening meal. And up here in Manchester way, we say I just picked up because I used to work with young people. I just used the phrase. I'd pick up what they were saying, and so what am I going to have for my tea was what I used to say. So when she asked me, I said, "Don't worry, Mum's making tea," and she was like,
Or it would be a cup of tea.
"Oh, I'm not thirsty." It's just really cute, but also really like, oh no, I've made the small child cry.
Yeah, exactly. What do I do to make it better?
Yeah.
So tea is what other people would call dinner, the evening meal, basically.
But
And
then
then
other
you
people.
It's not a.
and then we
It's not
call
a cup of tea. Cup of. you say
Yeah.
cup of tea,
Yeah, but we would just then say a cuppa. You want a cuppa,
a cuppa, yeah,
rather than
yeah.
silly.
Because now when I listen to you, oh, I want to go into the English accent too, and you have that, you have a motion that's not motion. I don't. Yeah, you know the sound that.
Oh, yeah, sort of
The
intonation.
because you
that's
have
it.
the kappa, and I used to say, "Come along, Richard," for the high US in Hyacinth on TV.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Come
not.
along, Richard.
It's not. Bucket,
You're right,
it's
Mr. Bucket. It's okay, don't you know?
Yeah. Oh.
It's all right, Poe. We know you're joking.
Amazing.
If it's not you saying it, then it's Denver. What was he saying this one? Took a long time to understand my UK friends when they would say
Tar.
tar. Was like with yeah,
Because
or
you-
like when we say how are you, and we don't really mean how are you. It's just that's just how we're saying hello.
I learned
You're
that
right.
I watched something where there's something about like, so asking me how are you, I'm normally like, I am the running meme of, do you actually want the real answer?
Yeah.
But there is another way to also ask that of people, where it's more to do with asking people, like the way that you ask it, like, do you mean how am I right now in this moment, or how have I been this week, or do you know what I mean, how have I been today? Like, it's all of those different ways of phrasing it. Bye, Poe. But yeah, I got more detail on it, but
so when you say how you what do you say? What do you mean then? When
you're
you're
normally
not,
supposed to just say, you're just supposed to say fine.
Yeah.
yeah, but when
Oh, yeah,
you don't ask how are you? You say
Yeah, it's not
how
like
you.
you're wanting an
It's not like you don't need an answer. Yeah,
You
Mhm.
don't mean,
yeah.
I'm good,
Yeah.
or I'm fine, and it can be quite, for
But
some
that
people.
isn't.
Oh, we
Isn't
don't
that
talk
what
about our
the?
feelings over here.
It's quite difficult.
Everyone asks.
It's quite a difficult phrase to deal with, I think, because
But I think people say that all over. When Americans say they hello, how are you, and
They
the
are
other
wanting
person
an
say
actual
fine.
answer.
yeah,
Yeah,
They always say
we're
fine.
not allowed to say how we feel, apparently.
yeah. Like when Americans say it, they're wanting an actual answer, whereas
Oh,
our answer will be like, fine, and and then sort of kind of walk off. So it's like you're kind of saying it in passing rather than like stopping and having a conversation from it. Whereas
yeah.
I think sort of Americans will say that sort of
He's
thing,
an
and it'll be
American.
like you kind of stop and then sort of carry on like the conversation.
They'll
Yeah,
still
we do
want a
need to have an American in here.
They
To...
still want a positive. They quite often still want a positive answer, I found, but they want to then have a follow-on conversation about your positive answer.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas we will just say,
We
"Hi,
just
how are
pass by. Yeah.
we just walk past," and it's like,
Yeah, look across the road.
well,
You're right.
I can't tell. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're right, and you just
yeah,
like
Exactly. Yeah.
for someone far in the distance. Yeah,
Yeah.
just yeah.
yeah, which is really difficult communication for some people because
I can imagine.
like, oh, so no, I can't. Like, you can't talk to anybody because when they ask you how you are, you can't give them a good answer.
No.
Everything I'm going to tell you is bad news. Like, would you like some
Exactly.
good news? No, that sounds like I've had an awful week. But what I mean is, like, sometimes there'll just be the only things that have like changed from one week to the next are a negative. So therefore, if somebody if we've grown up in a culture of how are you, we walk away, then how are we ever supposed to like have an honest conversation about actually I feel terrible?
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah. And it is
terrible.
something
how
that
much
I've
time?
kind of. Yeah. No, I was just going to say it's something that I've sort of started to change. Not that I try and like, be always negative, but I do try to sort of put in like a bit more than just yeah, I'm fine, you know, sort of like an actual, oh yeah, you know, like today's gone okay, or oh, I just, you know, had something happen or whatever, you know, like to sort of
Yeah.
yeah, sort of allow a conversation to form if one should.
Yeah. I get that. That makes sense. Because like
Because otherwise you're just fooling yourself sometimes, being like, yeah, everything's fine, when you know that actually isn't.
yeah, and that can be really problematic.
Exactly.
Because you're
So
just
I
like,
think if you're going to admit that you're not having a good day to anyone, it should be to yourself. And sort
yeah,
of sometimes like saying that out loud is kind of the first step.
yeah, and hence why I'm going on holiday.
Yes.
Need a break from
No,
Fabulous.
Americans. I have heard from Americans that are here on vacation. We think we are kind of rude in our way because, but for them, or I don't know how you are. You are probably like if you bump into each other in the store, and the Americans that can you imagine they didn't say I'm sorry or something, and but we just if we bump into each other we just walk, keep on walking. It's just how and it's so weird for the Americans because they are very I'm sorry and I like it to kind of
I
be, but it's just it has never actually crossed my mind. I have been thinking about it, or yeah, we seem
We
kind of,
will,
but we are not in our here in our, we know if we bump into each other, we know it's we are not rude, so it's just
yeah.
we just
yeah,
So we will apologize for someone else having bumped into us.
yeah.
oh
And then
okay.
get annoyed at them if they don't apologise to us.
Right.
But as long as we have apologised to them, then it's fine.
I've had my sisters had to keep reminding me that I shouldn't be apologizing for existing. So
Oh, exactly. Yes.
if I'm in a public space and I need to get through in my giant wheelchair, then I shouldn't be like, unless I've run you over, which is unlikely. If you're in my way and I've politely asked you to move and you've still stood there, then I'm going to ask you again, but I shouldn't apologise for asking you to move. Whereas I'll be like, sorry, thank you, sorry, thank you, sorry,
Yeah,
thank you.
definitely.
And my sister's like, no, don't say sorry. Say thank you very much or cheers for that. Because I'm so used to in our culture, it is such a thing to be like, I'm sorry that.
Yeah,
if
that I
I'm
literally
in
exist.
if I'm in the store and someone is in my way so I can get past, here we're yeah, I just take my finger and I poke them with my finger in the back and just toot toot.
We
Can I get through? Can I pass? And okay. And we don't. It's sometimes when someone says sorry, of course. But I for me it's natural to just poke them with my finger and say in a
Someone will get
jokey,
right.
liksom, oh, can I sneak by or something like that? But, oh, okay, yes, Lisa. And it's not natural for us to say
I'm
sorry all the
quite
time, but
looking
some
forward-
do.
I'm quite looking forward to one day in the future us being in a supermarket, because there's me trying to awkwardly reach for things, and I can just see you going, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, we can't reach. Can
Yeah.
we?" And it's just
You
me
have to
going,
be,
"I
Heather,
can't do this."
Heather, you have to learn to use the finger. Just poke them with the finger.
You just
You
stick.
can-
Because literally, people forget I'm there in 2 seconds. Like I've somehow vanished. Like I was near you in the aisle 2 minutes, like less than 2 minutes ago, and you've somehow forgotten I was there. Like, and so they're back in my way again. Like somehow they move, and then they're back in my way, and then they've moved, and then back in my way, and moved, and back in my way. Or people who try to get out of your way but jump into it. What are you doing? Step aside.
Yeah.
Step aside. I don't mind where. Just step aside for a second. And why have we all decided Lidl is a place to have a conversation?
Exactly.
People are just hanging out in Lidl having conversations. And
with
Aldi.
huge
It's a
huge
new
shopping
spot,
carts.
Just sitting
Yeah.
there, just like in groups, like having conversations. And I'm like, I'm trying to do my shopping. Like, it's that and the trolleys, the giant, trolleys. Because if I'm behind one, you can't see me.
Oh no.
So, yeah. This is just my brain preparing for my travels.
Yeah.
When are you going away?
I go on Friday and I come back
Friday.
following Monday. I'll still have my
That's-
laptop with me to annoy you all.
Wonderful.
While like
Look
in
forward to
between having auntie duties and
kids pull you all
Do you-
over the place.
do you like to travel to get away?
So I prefer the train over everything else. I've not tried flying yet, because I don't think my wheelchair would pass flying. I think I'd have to hire one to travel in anywhere I'd have to fly to. But I love it.
Your wheelchair can't go in the cargo space.
I don't know about it, what weight
okay.
it is to do that, but it feels like I'm driving a tank most of the time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they are heavy.
Like
But,
it's changed my life and it's amazing and I love having it, but sometimes it's just awkward. But I love getting.
But can you walk inside?
Oh, I hobble around in my house, yeah, and get stuff done. Hopefully, I'll be able to do more hobbling after tomorrow when they inject my foot. I won't go into full details about what they're going to do because everybody I've said it to goes, so I won't give you full details. But
Trust me, I don't gross out of anything. I think that's so fast. I mean, of course, I worked in the medical field, so I think it's so I don't gross out, but who knows?
I've got arthritis in both of my feet, so they're trying to work out how to fix it, or at least relieve. They can't fix it, but relieve it now.
Yeah.
So I haven't done as much hobbling as I usually would do.
Okay.
But yeah.
Are you getting an injection?
So I get steroid injection tomorrow morning in one foot, and then they're going to do the other foot, and then if that doesn't work, they'll do another bit of the foot. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's taken almost a year to figure that out. So
gosh.
I've pretty much been on intermittent bed rest now since the 31st of January. So
Oh gosh.
When I was joking about this being my office, this is my office.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so but I go and do my trips down to go and see my sister, and then she looks after me and, you know, makes me eat salad and be healthy and like,
Yeah.
and I look after small children who are trying to kill each other, as they would do. Stereotypical kids who are similar in ages. They always don't want to be in. They want to be in the same place as each other, but they also don't want to be in the same place as each other. Like, it's that thing, and you're just going, come on, let's.
Yeah, they are all over the place.
Yes. So that's, as I said, a rest is as good as a change. But I will probably have to go and finish writing my lists for my packing tomorrow. I've started.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
need to finish, but we've been here for.
Yeah.
I've been here for
a
2
fair
hours.
number of hours. Yeah, just over
Yeah.
2 hours. Oh, you're disappearing into your.
I disappeared. I was going. No, it's not happening. Maybe.
You trying to show a picture? Show a picture.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so cute. I love
oh.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
That's so cute. Next time I will be doing some kind of craft. I promise. I won't be running around.
Yes.
I say
I've
running
gone to the
around,
opposite
but being
end.
metaphorical.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just going to bring up just a few of these
yeah.
last comments that are just sort of sewing related. So for me, do you get your supplies online or at a store? Well, because I'm constantly so busy within my work, I mostly get my stuff online, but there will be occasions where I have to go to the stores to get like samples of fabrics for particular clients. So yeah, but I prefer to go to a store because I like to touch a cloth and things like that, and obviously see colours in person and things. It's always a lot different. But with lockdown, I found there's a store not too far from me that has like an amazing Instagram page. So when they have like a new fabric drop, I will I will go and like see their Instagram because they show the cloth really well and they'll tell you if the colour is accurate on the screen or not. So I found that really helpful in shopping online. But I have to put myself on a ban because I'm a bit of a cloth hoarder, which is terrible. But he's just saying that with his laser CNC router, I do a lot of both. But you go to a second-hand shop for searching for unique supplies. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't really do much second-hand shopping of fabrics, but I will shop remnants, which is like dead stock from designers and things like that. But yeah, I'm not the best at finding good cloth supplies and sewing supplies at like charity shops and things. I don't know if you guys have ever found anything. One of my friends has like great ability to find cloth in second-hand stores, but I don't know. Not in London for me. And then Sophia's just saying that she figured out how to sew through trial and error, and went about it the way it works for her neuro spicy brain. Which, you know, I always say to people when they come to sort of my classes, it's kind of, I will teach you something, but kind of you will always find some other way that might sort of best work for you from kind of what I've
You do you.
I never like to say, I never like to say the sort of, this is the way that you have to do it. I say to people, you know, when they're first starting out, there is a better way, like to hold the fabric when you're sewing and things like that. But obviously, you know, as people sort of develop things, you get more comfortable with how you handle things, I think. And then Barbara's just saying that her daughter is into sewing, and that I would love her, vice versa. I'm very sure I would, Barb. You should, I hope you introduce her to my, at least sewing part of this channel anyway, which I will get back on and do some voiceovers of my videos again soon. Oh, and then Brad was saying that he has a hand cranked Singer sewing machine. And then Kim was saying that she's got a floor pedal as a good workout, which is very good as a workout for your foot. If that's what we need. Because you know what, with my machine that has a button, obviously I have speed control on it, but the amount of times that I forget that I'm not using the pedal, and then I go to like take my foot off. I think I'm like frantically trying to press it because I'm like, oh no, what's going on?
It's like when you drive a car with the stick and go over to
with
and
automatic.
you are keep searching for the clutch.
Definitely. Fabulous, and I think that's kind of it. Yeah, just talking about paints and that. So wonderful to have this chat with you ladies, and with everyone in the chat as well. Thank you all for being so active.
Yeah.
And we will say goodbye. Good night and goodbye.
Yeah, good night. Bye bye.
And just to say for the replay crew, we love you, and please like this channel, this stream, and subscribe to my channel if you don't mind.
Yes,
I'm gonna
do.
put my banner up as we go.
Okay.
And we will see you all soon. Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
bye.